doing this?
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Still doing it?
As good little untrained professionals that we are, we came prepared.
So she's going to absolutely love our big penis intro.
On his knees. That was always a good time. What's got you titillating? And you know what, guys? That's why I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
Well, it's a basic Jersey girl at one point. Because it was Hoser City.
I'm sure that's enough for some people.
QC After Dark.
Welcome in, Chasers, to QC After Dark. It is our off-season pod. So that means we are going to go off on whatever we want to go off on. I'm Danny Gerb. That's Alex Kruger. Hey, how are you tonight, Alex?
Danny, I am doing fantastic. I am so excited to be launching the first ever episode of QC After Dark.
After Dark. We did it.
We did it. We finally did it. Folks, we had mentioned a couple of times, once live and then a few more not so live, about how in the offseason we were going to be doing album chasing. Well, no, we're not. Danny and I both realized that as much of a fun concept as that is for a couple of episodes, is it sustainable? I'm not sure. And did we really want to get out of the Quit Chasin umbrella? No. So here we are with kind of our grab bag. So in the off season of Phil's baseball, we're going to, like Danny alluded to, talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. And it's very, very freeing. I'm so excited, man.
Yeah, it's going to be fun because no one wanted to hear us deep dive Dua Lipa's future nostalgia for 45 minutes.
No, absolutely not. Or Childish Gambino's Atavista, because both of those things were absolutely going to happen.
Oh, yeah. We had some albums on the list that people were going to be like, why are we even here?
And you know, to folks of the show, and especially Danny, now would be the time when I would jump in and tell everyone all the things that we have talked about, that we have planned. But I know that's the type of thing that I do that infuriates Danny. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try my best to bite my tongue on potential future topics.
You know, I'm probably going to let one or two slip tonight, but, you know, that's just because this is the first one of these ones.
Well, and as album swapping has shown us, we can say whatever the hell we want and then just take it back. So, you know, we can mention something now and then never, ever do it.
Well, we did that the whole way through the baseball pod.
That's true. That's true.
We were adamant about the bye until the bye happened, and then it was 2 weeks of God bless the bye.
When it never really mattered in the end anyway.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Chasers, because you're still chasers.
You're always Chase Nation, just a different shade of purple.
Yeah, absolutely. It's After Dark. It's a little more sultry, a little sluttier, dare I say.
Is.
You know it, buddy.
I do.
That leads us to our very first Quit Chasin After Dark. Oh, sorry. I messed it up already. QC After Dark segment. Alex?
Yes. Danny, there's only one thing I want to know, and this is how we keep this under the Quit Chasin umbrella, but how you feeling?
Is that what we're doing? I thought it was filling it.
How you feeling? Feeling it? All right,
I'll
tell you what,
man.
Here's what we're gonna do, okay? We're gonna put a poll up on this podcast and on Facebook, and Chris, after you vote for whichever one you like most, that's what it'll be. So whichever one gets the most votes.
That's right. Yeah, your mom might say something.
That's true.
Yeah.
She'll hop. She and Chris are good for a vote. And then after that, it's anyone's guess. Poopo will give it a vote. But yeah, so
let's see what happens. Prove us wrong at Chase Nation.
Prove us wrong. Get us more than 3, and we can really, really pop off on this. But anyways, folks, so how you feeling / filling it is where Danny and I talk about if we're feeling anything about the Phils, if there's anything worth talking about, just to keep it a little bit on brand. We have a couple of things. So number one, Danny, since the end of the season, the president or whatever of baseball operations, Dombrowski, and
right.
the manager Topper, Rob Thompson, had their press conference. What'd you think?
Ever infuriated the Delaware Valley and all points stretching out, right? Like, what did you think?
It was terrible.
Absolutely terrible. So it's one of those deals that, we get it. You can't deliver business to the masses. The series still needs to be played, right?
That's true.
Right. So you have that. You can't go out there and call a 95-win division title winning team all bums. You know, you got
We're going to.
Yeah, we are going to.
We
You
get
gotta
to.
keep their trade value up and stuff like that. At the same time, like, way to say everything that the Delaware Valley did not want to hear. And I praise, because we do it all the time on the show, Jack Fritz, for at least saying, like, having the same thought that I did on, like, Middleton had to have been furious about that presser too, right?
Yes. Yeah. The owner, there's no way the owner, being as much of a fan as he is, and as just like we are, he feels just as shortchanged, literally financially, by this team and what they ended up doing. But I don't know. It is what it is. Like, the thing that annoys me the most is there didn't really seem to be any accountability or acknowledgement of any of the deficiencies that were completely obvious to anyone with a third grade education and working eyeballs.
Not only that, not only was there no accountability for this, Dombrowski had the audacity to tell us that the Mets chased more in that series than the Phillies.
It was a masterclass in how to not deliver in Philadelphia, both off the field and in that press conference. I don't
completely
really
gaslit. We got gaslit by the organization.
Gaslit. That's a great call. That's a fantastic call. Wow. Damn. Well, I don't want to talk about that anymore. You?
Well, I do. Yeah, there's
right.
Because I'm still so angry about it. And here's the other thing: like, when did that presser happen? Tuesday. Do you know where in the LCS they were?
Maybe like 2 or 3 games into the LCS. Maybe.
Okay.
Like the Mets were still very much alive.
Okay, fair enough. I can't remember what game or where it was. Do you remember the day? It was Tuesday. Anyways, so Dombrowski also had the audacity to say scoring down league wide, and as much as it is, it's a pitcher's game right now, right? But he said that 09, 7-3, 8-0, 10-2, 6-12, 5-10. Those were the scores of the NLCS. That's some massive amount of scoring going on during those games. And like, this is what I want to pose to you, Alex. Like, we watched those games. It was not a joy to watch competitive high-end baseball. My buddy Dave told me during the LDS series, we would watch the Phillies and then keep it on for the Dodgers Padres. And he was like, oh, holy crap, this is what baseball is supposed to look like. Yep. And like, that's exactly right. So here's something I want you to do. I want our listeners to do. Close your eyes. Not if you're driving. If you're driving, take your hands off the wheel and cover your eyes. Make sure they're real tight.
We do not condone dangerous driving on this show. That was in jest.
It was. I wasn't going to say it. I know,
but for legal purposes, I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
So let's do like the NPC or the player one select with this team, or take the names off of everyone's back. Do the Men in Black memory flashy thing and forget who they are. Forget the salary. Take the names off the back. Take their faces. Just watch player one select play a game and watch that team without knowing anything about that team. And are you telling me that is a World Series team? Like, watching that NLCS Dodgers v Mets and watching those games, there is no part of me that believes that the Phillies and the Phillies organization actually believes they were supposed to be there.
No, there's no way they would have gotten past either of those teams the way that they were playing. I mean, the Dodgers lineup would have smacked around our pitching staff that had completely fatigued out, man. The energy bar was gone. Our stamina, we got through, like, we were cooked. 3 consecutive postseason runs, like, we were just cooked.
It was down by the mid-June, and like Dombrowski to come out there and tell us it's a good team, that they're essentially running it back, patting himself on the back for his deadline moves. Like, what? Like, it's one of those things that Middleton walks around the stadium and asks fans what they think. And if I ever am lucky enough to be one of those guys at a game that he's walking around and he comes up to me and says, "Hey, man, what do you think's going on?" And we say, "Hey, John, thanks for everything you've done with this team so far. It's really great that, I'll give him his flowers," and then be like, "By the way, that Dombo press conference, if you didn't hand him his ass immediately after that, what are we doing here? Because that can never happen again."
I love it. I couldn't put it any better.
All right, now I'm done.
Oh, well, that's good. So, we got out NLDS. It happens. We had our reaction pod. NLCS and ALCS were both pretty solid series. And now Rob Manfred gets his coast-to-coast wet dream. New York Yankees versus LA Dodgers. Could the baseball gods themselves have scripted it any better? Shohei Ohtani.
I bet not.
First time. Huh?
I bet not.
Shohei Ohtani bets not too. But yeah, you think I forgot it. I often forget about that's how the season started with Shohei Ohtani and the interpreter heard around the world.
Yeah, and you were sliding in gambling jokes every other episode that I was missing.
Absolutely. It was just fun. It was what we did. So that's exciting. Now, the only other thing that I want to know if you're feeling it or not, Danny. Recently, Netflix released a documentary on the Philly sports captain, or whatever he's called, and the standing ovation for Trayvon Leon Turner last year in the 2023 season. Have you checked it out? What do you think?
I did not check it out. Chris reached out to me. I don't know if he reached out to you asking if we watched it and our thoughts on it. And I told him I had it.
He diversifies. He doesn't just ask us both the same thing.
Yeah.
I like that he diversifies the conversations.
Diversify your bonds.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so Chris reached out to you.
ODB couldn't be here today, but he sends his respects. That was one of my favorite sketches. Yeah, he reached out to me asking if we Wu-Tang Financial. You know what I'm talking about.
I do. Chappelle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask if I watched it, if you watched it, if what we thought on it. I told him I hadn't. He said I should. He said it wasn't what he was expecting, that it was like 60% the Philly captain's mental health journey with bipolar issues and 40% the ovation. But honestly, I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, so how long is it?
Couldn't tell you.
No, I think it's like 16 or 18 minutes or something, but honestly, that's too long for me.
It's that short?
I don't know. I have no idea how long it is. I don't even know what it's called. Do you know what it's called? I'll look it up right now.
The Turnaround.
Is it the Turner? Oh, the Turnaround. That's good.
Yeah.
That is actually a pretty good title. No, I I mean, I didn't like the standing ovation when it happened in real time. So
right. That's part of it too.
I don't really want to celebrate it now, especially when it's not like we've gotten a ring. So I don't care.
It's 25 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's the other thing. Like,
I can do.
It's not even worth
minutes.
It. I can't. Not for a story I have zero care about a team that has not yet lived up to the expectations that they should for this of a story to matter.
Right, or a player, quite frankly, who, from the rumors and reports around the city that, it's in his contract and the promises made to him that he will be the shortstop and he has no plans on leaving it. I have a feeling.
Why would you want to do a position that you're not good at?
Why? Because I don't know, but I have a feeling like if things don't turn around, pun not intended, this dude in this contract is going to become a villain in the city real fast. If it isn't already starting to become one.
I can't wait. It's gonna. Sorry, Chris. I know how much you're turnered up, but I am turnered off of him right now.
Yeah, so am I. So
I'm
that's
done feeling things. Yeah,
feeling it.
That was feeling it. So that is it for the Phillies conversation tonight, folks. And we haven't mentioned it.
We're bridging the old and the new together. That's what we're doing right now.
Bridging gaps. You can't see it because we don't do the YouTube thing, which is why I didn't do my hair. But this week's topic.
Danny, we didn't address that at the top. Should we address it now?
Yeah, why not? So if you are watching on YouTube and you're wondering what the hell you're seeing, we're going to have some fun every episode with just a constant picture / video playing little bits of fun. I'm sure you've seen some of the moments already. But yeah, it's just we don't really feel like being on camera in the off season, but we know that some folks enjoy listening through YouTube. So wanted to give you something pretty to look at. Enjoy your weekly, your episodic Yule log type things.
It starts.
That's one. So that is one. What?
Whoa, that was just nothing.
All right. Yep, I missed it. So anyways, that brings us to this episode's topic. Danny, it's spooky season, baby.
It sure is.
It is the Halloween of fame.
That's right.
That's right. I gotta say, first things first, and I put this in the agenda, it's really weird and different other than the last 2 years getting ready for Halloween without having to plan around baseball games. I don't love it.
That's true. That is true. I went to a rave last year, and it was Game 5. They won it, right? They won Game 5 at the NLCS. It was Game 5 at the NLCS, and I was watching it on my phone in the middle of the dance floor.
100%. So we've been going through our fall pictures and stuff, like Halloween nights and pumpkin plantings and trick or treats or trunk or treats, and so many of them the last 2 years. Like you got me on the phone, just kind of monitoring an NLCS game, and some of those were better than others.
Oh, absolutely. It is freeing. There is something freeing about it, and I'll tell you what. Like, I was a little hotter at the top of the show than I was at the end of the baseball season, and that's because of watching better baseball.
That's true.
It is a little freeing to some degree.
It is. So, on that note, Dano, what is Halloween to you?
This is Halloween. Here's the thing. Not much. I was never horribly a big Halloween guy. I'm still really not. I'm doing this thing where Kim enjoys it, so I'm trying to enjoy it more and trying to enjoy all the fall holidays more. I'm a real big fall holiday kind of guy. Thanksgiving, Christmas, huge Christmas guy. So I'm trying to change my mindset to Halloween isn't just this corny, hokey thing where want to be gossed by cheap plastic crap and there's a ugly ass spider's stupid skull and they think they're so edgy in their living room. Like I'm letting those people have their fun, and I'm kind of using it more as my gateway to the fall holidays. Like this is the holiday that welcomes in my other holiday enjoyment.
I like it. I honestly was not expecting you to have such a Danny Gerb take on Halloween. I'm so happy that you had such a Danny Gerb take on Halloween. That is so on brand for you. Thank you.
I don't even know what that means, but anytime.
You know exactly what that means. Don't lie.
I found a way to put someone down in the middle of it.
No, it's Taylor saying, "Oh, you're the grumpy one." Like 100%. That is a grumpy take on Halloween, and I'm here for it because it's on brand.
No way. I said I'm changing my mindset. I'm letting people have their fun. I'm not crapping on someone else's fun.
So that I do appreciate, and that is very, very good of you. So touche. I don't yuck anybody's yum. No sense in that.
Right.
Me? Like, I'm not much of a horror movie guy, but I like costumes. I like feeling and seeing the community and the inventiveness of inspiration from the world. It's also a wonderful set of things to do in the fall with kids between trunk or treats, company trick or treats, and parades. There's almost always something to do. Yeah. I also like seeing myself and others as someone other than themselves. So I love people that go all the way out for Halloween. I'm never going to be one, but I do enjoy seeing people that spend the gobs of money on these costumes.
I enjoy it too. When I do go to some things, David Bryan, I think his name is, he's a jeweler. He does or did, I don't know, I haven't really looked it up in a while, a gigantic ball in Philadelphia on Halloween night every year. And people that go to that, they to the nines. I went 1 or 2 years in the past, and like, I understood the assignment, so I got decked out, and I got there, and you would have thought that I like put a bag over my head.
Oh, damn.
But it was really cool to see. Like, I'm never one of those guys. I don't get joy in that. But like walking around those dudes, you giggle a little bit. Like, oh, holy crap! You know,
I do.
You
know.
do. Yeah,
You do. You do. Oh my gosh. All right, Danny. So when I'm thinking about Halloween, one of the things that I always go back to are the Simpsons Treehouse of Terrors, and how I don't know about
course. So yeah,
Right.
you nailed it, dude.
Like we have mentioned the Simpsons many a times,
Yes.
and we are obviously big fans, and especially that early like first decade of the show, and it's amazing that you have to put first, not second or third decade of the show. They were just absolute top notch. So what's one sketch that you immediately think of when you envision the show?
Treehouse of Horrors, all the fog that turns you inside out, and like the ending
Ooh.
credits of the song "One Chorus Line of People Dance until their guts fall out," or whatever they say. But yes,
That's a great one.
Yeah.
The first one I ever think of is 3D Homer, where he finds the little 3D portal behind the bookcase when he's hiding from Patty and Selma. And for the era and the time that it was, that this level of 3D rendering was on television was pretty intense. And then after, when 3D Homer was in the actual D world, that blew my mind as like a 6-year-old, 8-year-old, whatever I was.
it was like one of those early Windows like paint programs that
Yes.
world looked like.
Yeah, it was a screensaver world.
It was. Yeah, those are great. Those early ones, those early episodes are amazing. The fog that turns you inside out, the Kodos one. Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos.
Oh, Kang for president. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
even the as true today as it was back then with the abortions for all. Boo. Okay. Abortions for no one. Boo. Abortions for some, miniature American flags for others. Yeah. Like that was 20
Nailed it.
years ago and nothing's changed.
It is rather remarkable. Fantastic. So one of
How's the curse going, Kirsty? Like, yeah, they're great. Yeah.
one of the quotes that I will constantly say to this day, depending on the situation, no TV, no beer, make Homer something.
Oh, The Shining. It's the Shinning Kid. Do you want to get us sued? Yeah.
Go crazy. Don't mind if I do. That is a great one. I love the one where the advertisements come alive. I think that's a really fun one.
Oh yeah,
Remember that
Wickham
one?
shoots the Wickham shoots the basketball player. Yeah.
And then the last one I remember, because I was rewatching them recently with the girls, the teeth people. So Lisa is doing some sort of experiment for a science fair with her falling out tooth in Diet Coke, and Bart shocks her, and it develops this tooth civilization. That one was awesome.
I've created Lutherans.
Any other ones that you can remember that stand out to you?
So, yeah. So probably all of them, if you give me a second. But the one that I really like, and I've been doing it this year, is I bought. So I went going back to my distaste for Halloween decorations earlier. I wanted to make my house festive this year, and Kim pointed it out to me because I was like, the dumb, hate it. But then I was finding all this other stuff. She's like, oh, you like autumn, you don't like Halloween. So I've got autumn decorations up.
Let me tell you, Target is where you need to go.
Okay, I went.
That place has regurgitated autumn, and it is delightful.
I'm into it,
dude. Autumn's the best. It's a great color scheme. It's a great time.
It really is. But I did want to get something spooky, so I found like a little whatever they are called, like a you hang them like a string with stuff on them.
Garland.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's it. And it's like just these little black balls with these little tiny white ghosts in the middle. And
Okay.
I keep on referring that to Batsy because I forget what season it was, but the intro to Treehouse of Horrors where Burns makes Smithers put this small little bat on the very top of the mansion.
Yep.
And he was like, "Oh, Batsy, you did it again." So I'm like, "That's my Batsy. Like that's the one small thing I have. It's my Batsy."
I love that you are associating yourself with Montgomery Burns.
Well,
as if I needed more proof that you're the grumpy one. You are Monty Burns in this analogy.
he got a ton of cheer out of Batsy though, and I am too.
He sure did. And that's a great call. That is a great call. Now, outside of The Simpsons, are there any other notable Halloween specials from TV that you can think of?
Yeah,
I guess you really weren't a Halloween guy, but what you got?
The Great Pumpkin, like the OG.
Yes. It is still. Do you have it on DVD or anything?
Kim has them on DVD. I have the vinyl of the soundtrack. It's shaped in a pumpkin.
The vinyl is?
Yeah, it's an orange vinyl shaped in a pumpkin.
That's really impressive.
It sure is.
That's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, it is just
like it.
It is just like a medley of Linus and Lucy in different keys, like in between every other song. That is how they fill it out.
Oh, I see what you did there, and I loved it. That's how they fill it out. All right, so there's another show that had a lot of Office episodes, but instead of asking you what you thought of specific episodes, I want to ask because you're a fan of it, so I think you'll have some.
Yeah, you already gave it away.
Did I?
Yeah, you said they had some Office episodes.
Oh, cool. So are there any specific costumes from the Office Halloween episodes that stood out to you that you love? Like for me, when Ryan comes in dressed as Jesse Pinkman, it took till my 4th or 5th rewatch of it to realize that's who he was. I love that one.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I picked up on that either. So I always thought that Andy did a great George Michaels.
Oh, he was a really good George Michael. That's a great call.
Yeah, like I saw when I saw that episode and I saw his George Michaels, I was like, whoa, I could do something like that for something. Like he was a great George Michaels. Are
you saying George Michaels?
George Michaels. I was.
Okay, it's George Michael, right?
I do. All
right, you just gotta have faith. All right, continue.
No, I do, and I was.
Okay,
I do, and I was.
It was Bret Michaels. Bret Michaels got to you there, I think.
It was Shawn Michaels, really. Yes. Right. Shawn Michaels got to me. Yes, I was, and I do. So just however that works, but
yeah. Any other costumes that you remember?
Yeah, I have always appreciated Jim's no effort costumes.
3-hole punch Jim.
Love 3-hole punch Jim. In fact,
Dave, have you ever been 3-hole punch Jim? I've been 3-hole punch Alex.
I was thinking about it this year because I'm going to a place where costumes are mandatory, and I'm not I just don't like dressing up, and so especially like for parties. So I was thinking about doing that.
Bookface is another great one. Bookface is a really good costume.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
for sure,
you're at a party, you're walking around, you're talking to people, drinking beers, you're eating food. You can't have big props. You can't have masks. I don't want to do paint and walk around with paint all night. To be comfortable at a party and in a costume is actually limiting. I feel. I know there's other people that don't care and walk around.
I would pick like a realistic character, like Rick Grimes or Negan from The Walking Dead. Like that's one that I could live at a party, like a decent, normal human character.
Yeah, I always try to think that way, and then I don't know, I never get there.
Looks right.
Right, it doesn't. I was Rowdy Piper one year.
Oh, I like it.
It worked out.
I like that. We'll get there. So all right, music is one of our huge things that we are very passionate about. Are there any Halloween songs to you? Is anything?
So I'm glad you put this on the list because I was going to have that question for you too. My buddy Dave, I think this might be the 100th time I mentioned him this pod. Hey Dave, what up? He's a big Monster Mash guy.
Oh man, I do love the Monster Mash.
Right.
I love the Monster Mash.
So Monster Mash and right?
Thriller.
Well, so AFI has a song called Halloween. So like,
Oh, okay.
like they're,
Sure.
and I'm sure if you start going down some of those other catalogs, like Misfits catalogs or
Yeah.
Danzig or whatever, you could probably find some other tracks called Halloween or All Hallows Eve or Devil's Night or something about Halloween.
For sure.
I don't know them, but I am sure within the punk scene there are a million of them.
You know what song I had not thought of until I was having dinner with my parents tonight, and my mom reminded me that every year after Halloween she would traumatize me and the rest of the family. I mean, not them; they weren't traumatized, but I was, by putting on the Rocky Horror Picture Show after we were done trick or treating. And damn, I'm pretty sure that is a soundtrack that is very Halloween adjacent. Am I right?
Well, the Time Warp is kind of like the only one that's ringing on my head right now.
There's the one with Meatloaf before they eat him. I do like Meatloaf. Sweet transvestite. I don't know,
let me sleep on it.
I will say the Rocky Horror soundtrack is very, very Halloween for me. You got the Thriller, MJ classic. People try to say Ghostbusters, but I challenge that. I don't think Ghostbusters is a Halloween song at all.
Well, I was back home, I mentioned my dad had a health thing. So I was visiting him and this conversation came up, and the two suggestions I got from my parents was my mother said Monster Mash. I was like, yeah, given. And then my dad goes, oh, the Addams Family. And I was like, what's a theme song?
Huh. It is a theme song.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that one works.
So, right. So what I do, ready for this? This is an album that comes out for me during Halloween is Alice in Chains Unplugged.
Oh.
None of them are Halloween songs per se, but the mood of that album and that tone of that album is my Halloween album.
That's pretty good, man. I have no qualms or complaints with that. That's nice. That's good.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. But as far as like, it's not like we're like here. I got a list of Christmas tunes, but like.
Well, for sure. Let me ask you, Nightmare Before Christmas, are those Halloween songs or those Christmas songs? Or are they both? Because This Is Halloween is a gangster Halloween song.
Yeah, no, that's a Halloween movie, right?
Okay, that's Halloween not a Christmas movie? That's
I don't really know.
A Christmas movie.
What's this? It falls. Yeah, no, you're right. It falls somewhere in that weird in between of mashing them together, and then here's my strike. We'll get to it. Like they are mashed together, and they're supposed to be, and that's for good reason. And we'll get there in months to come. But weeks, I suppose, weeks to come.
Tomato.
But
tomato.
I can't do it. I keep my food separated on a plate. I can't mix my Halloweens and Christmases.
Okay, well, tell that to Target. All right, so next, and I'm almost terrified to ask you this question. Favorite costume as a kid? What was your favorite Halloween costume as a child?
As a child, that's easy.
Ooh, we can split that up into child and adult.
As a child, it's easy.
Go on.
I was Batman one year. I got the rubber mask, like the real nice rubber mask, and I thought I was just the bee's knees in that thing.
Nice.
Yeah. Or one year I was also I wanted to be Donatello, but all the costumes were sold out, and Raphael was the only one left. So I was Raphael. No big deal.
So Danny, the Grump, was Raph.
I was.
How about that?
I was.
The through line here is just fantastic. This entire episode.
Wow.
That's amazing.
But I wore that for months.
I believe
it.
For months. Was that like? Was it PJs Halloween. When it wasn't Halloween?
No, because it was like the one with like the foam shell on the back. It was like green pants with the like foam shell and the turtle chest in front of it. So I might have wore the pants.
For sure. Yeah. We all had those. My favorite costume as a child, I did not resemble this character whatsoever, but it was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, hell grade. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I had the belt. I had like a $3 bald cap. I had brown like Crayola to really get me the goatee. I had a knee brace on because it was during that era that he was fighting with a knee brace. It was fantastic. I did not look one iota like the man, but I thought I was a dead ringer. Classic.
Were you? So here's the thing, man. Do you do the thing where you dress up as the guy and you have fun, or when you dress up the guy, then the whole night you're just like, oh hell yeah, brother? Like, do you do the affect and everything? Like, do you become that person, or are you just wearing a costume and going about your life?
So I don't think I've ever been in a social situation where I was surrounded with people that wanted me to be in character all night for anyone that I ever dressed up as. And I mean, that goes as far way back as like Corey Kagras and Mike Barry in kindergarten and shit. Like, nobody wants me in character all night long. I don't care what that character is, Danny. You said it today. Alex always on Kruger, okay?
Yeah, man.
No one wants me in any character all night long because I could be Ted Lasso all night and it would get annoying by the end of it. I know me. People know me. Like, no, I will never be one of those in character 24/7 because I already am as Alex always on Kruger.
Nice. All right. I was just wondering. Yeah, that kind of like gets to me, like the macho man, like, hey, I'm like, dude, how you been? I haven't seen you in a while.
Like,
oh, 100%. Like, all right, okay, Tim. Good to see you again.
Oh man. All right. So we're talking costumes, which leads us to one of the most important questions in America. Danny, what's your favorite Halloween candy?
Oh, I love candy. As a kid, it was anything that wasn't chocolate. I was a sucker for the Charms Blow Pops.
You were a gummy kid.
Well, no, like the harder stuff, like Charms Blow Pops, right? Like those were to me the 50-cent piece of the candy. Like you pour it out, and like that was the one.
Like you think about the amount of time that you're enjoying that piece of candy, it really is second to none. Like you get the most bang for your buck time wise.
Yeah, and if it couldn't been a Charms Blow Pop, I was going with the Tootsie Pops. Like the hard candy with the other candy underneath it, like double the candy. Come on, man! Like
and diversified candy, not just double.
Diversify your bonds.
You got to. So, did you ever try to see how many licks it took to get to the center?
No, I trust the owl. It's 3. I think as a kid I did sit there and do it one day, but yeah, who knows what the number was, right?
That's true. Oh, that's so good. So for me, honestly, it was a full-sized nut-free anything at all. Usually, so growing up, my dad worked at M&M Mars for the entirety of my childhood. So we always had access to the Three Musketeers, the Snickers, the Twix, the Starburst, Skittles, all that jazz. And it was amazing. But because of that, we never really had like Reese's candy at the house because why would we? Mm-hmm. So Halloween, man, Halloween was that time where like through the kindness of strangers, I got to experience Reese's and Kit Kats. Hershey bar and s'mores bar when those were a thing. Oh my God, those were amazing. And now fast breaks. Like, I'm not saying like we never had it, but it was a lot more common for us to have Mars products. So Halloween was a great time to really expand my palate tree.
Nice. Well, yeah. I didn't start getting into that stuff until I was older. Like Kit Kat, if there was a Kit Kat in the bag, like I kind of tossed it aside. It was one of the ones that like sat around for a couple days.
That blows my mind, dude. I am such a chocolate guy, which again, I grew up in a chocolatier's house. So I would imagine I'd be a chocolate guy. Yeah, chocolatier. You like that?
I did.
So yeah. Real quick.
I don't know why I made a Mickey Mouse.
I don't know, but I loved it. Real quick, before we get into our final segment of the night, I do want to share a story with you that I was saving for the show. But I had to. So you know how I said they were building a Wawa near my house?
I went to it.
You did? Okay. So you saw, I imagine, that the gas was different than the sheets next to it. That
I did not pay that much attention to it.
Okay. Well, this whole past week I've been driving by because I was getting the car inspected. And it was $2.99 at Wawa and $3.09 at Sheetz. And everywhere else it's like $3.25. And I needed gas today. And I was like, all right, after work, before I get home, I'm just gonna go down to Middletown, get it, and then just take $2.30 back. So I was fully prepared and fully committed to go to Wawa because honestly, it was 10 cents cheaper a gallon. That's nothing to sneeze at when you have an 18-gallon car. And I was going to just go to Wawa. I was going to get, fluid for the car, maybe a little snack, like do the Wawa experience. Wouldn't you know it? I'm driving down 230 and I see the signs and Sheetz has lowered their price to $2.99 as well. So I went to Sheetz.
Nice. Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to choose. I've just decided I've planted my flag. If I don't have to go to Wawa, if it's not abundantly obvious for me to go to Wawa, I'm just not going to do it. I don't get it.
I'm with you.
So that's because I hate.
That's a great story, Alex.
Thank you. I hope so. Or that was awful and we're going to edit it out later. I'm not sure.
I mean, we're not going to edit it out later, but.
No, but the crickets will be heard. So can't wait.
Hey, this one time I went to the grocery store and bought milk and it was $3.99, and then I went to this other grocery store and it was $2.99.
No, I hear you.
Okay, all right, cool. Just so you know what it sounded like.
All right, so that just takes all the wind out of my sails, but that's okay. Alex always on, Kruger is always on. So, Danny, love it or hate it, one of the most polarizing.
Dodgers walked 42 times in the NLCS.
No, I'm
51 strikeouts.
I'm just not playing the baseball games right now. You know what? Where I don't care. Love it or hate it, Danny. Candy corn.
Flashback. Yeah. So you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
I will go first because I don't know what your reaction is going to be, but I absolutely adore candy corn. Aside from the fact that every time I put my teeth together around a candy corn, I can feel the cavity forming. I love the taste. I love the texture. I love just how poppable it is. I love that they never actually go stale, no matter how you keep them. It's the weirdest thing. You can keep them open air for months and they're not going to go stale. It's very, very strange, but I love them. I love them, love them, love them. How about you, Dano?
Yeah, absolutely love them. So it's one of the things that it is the taste of the season. It welcomes in, going back to that, welcoming in other fall holidays. It's got a nostalgic smell when you smell them, a nostalgic taste. How can you not love it? And here's the thing, it's rant time, buddy. It's rant time.
Oh boy, we've been waiting, folks.
Yeah, so it's corn syrup and fondant with marshmallow and vanilla flavors. Who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like that? And here's the deal. Here's the deal. So everyone likes to go on the internet and call people sheeple. But guess what? You're sheeple. And I'll tell you why. Drives me up a wall. This internet food trends and all this jazz. Bacon, remember bacon in the early 2000s? Bacon was around for freaking ever. Bacon is good. Bacon is a staple to many meals and morning routines and or hangover cures. Bacon is loved. It's always been loved. It's a delicious meat.
I want bacon right now.
Yeah, right. I hear you. Sure, bacon's great. But then somewhere in the early 2000s in the internet, all these bacon memes and, oh my God, it's bacon and bacon socks, and people made I love bacon their personality. And all this trendy food things oh, now we hate candy corn. Why? Because a meme told you to hate it? Get the hell out of here. It's corn syrup, it's fondant, it's marshmallow and vanilla cream flavoring. You're sheeple, you're idiots. Bacon's always been good. Don't make it your personality. What else? Bring it on. Come on. What do you got for me, Alex?
I got the return of Jerry Danny Gerbich Seinfeld, and it was fantastic.
Oh, we're doing that again. But no.
You tell me.
I don't know. I don't know what he really sounds like.
That's unrealistic for me to actually believe that that's a true statement. You don't know what Jerry Seinfeld sounds like.
I mean, I know, but it sounds like a dude. I've heard him talk.
But he's got a very distinct voice.
All right, there you go. Thank you. That helps. So to try to break it down to doing an impression, I wouldn't know where I would start.
I just did a horrible impression. So
it's not like Pooh. I can do a Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, good.
No.
Winnie the Pooh. I was Winnie the
Yeah.
Pooh. I wasn't.
Yeah,
I wasn't
yeah.
sure exactly. It could have been Patrick Stewart from the Emoji Movie. There's no way to know.
That's true. But yeah,
Danny,
right. That's how I feel about it. Like people get on the internet, they make these statements that a following gets around it, and then people make it their like personality almost. It's weird when it's a
Now,
delicious
Danny,
candy.
I have to wonder if a part of this isn't the fact that you are a basic bitch and you love your pumpkin spice, and every year you feel
It's true, I
attacked
do.
by the anti-pumpkin spice community. So is that why you're so passionate right now about this?
Maybe. Dunkin' Donuts pumpkin spice coffee is the best one on the market, if you ask me.
I love that for you. I don't like
Thank you.
pumpkin in general, but I love that you do and that you are not afraid to own that Twilight living life.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
I love it. I love
nice
it.
little PSL and new moon, and call it an evening.
Have you ever considered going as Edward for Halloween?
So again, I have that thing this weekend, and I pitched it to Kim, and she was like, "So like a dude." And I was like, "No, he's got hair." Also, like,
He's got hair.
It's like 20 years ago too. So people were like, "Oh, a dude with hair," it's not going to work now. I'm late to the game. But yes, I thought about it.
I love it. Danny?
Yes,
I think
sir.
we did it, man.
Yeah.
I think we did this.
Yeah, Chasers.
It was great. Any last
This
words
was
for
after
you
dark.
This was after dark.
No, we're figuring this part out.
Yeah, so as you noticed, Danny did the lead in to say hello, and that means it's on me to say goodbye. So time to have some fun with it. Folks, that's it for this edition of QC After Dark. We'll do better next time, we promise. But until then, it's not cool to steal from work.